Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're a woman over 40 and you're engaged on your spiritual path, maybe you've had this experience where there is a discrepancy between your quote-unquote spiritual life and your ordinary life. Like, for example, especially if you've been to a retreat or special teaching, then you feel that openness of the heart, you feel much more connected to your true nature, to your essence. You feel more in harmony with your environment, you feel more compassionate, you feel this spark of life within you. And then you go back to your ordinary life and it feels like chaos are there, that all this nice experience you've had during the retreat just kind of vanished, and you feel even like actually the ordinary environment, either at home or at work, feels like even an aggressive environment. And this is the experience of one lady that came to me recently, and she said, like, you know what, I really feel I start to actually resent my job because when I'm with my spiritual community, then I feel really good. I feel just like more joy, open heart, and also having this drive to do things, to feel like I'm having a purposeful life. And then at work, it's just like very harsh. The wall, I really like my work. uh, I start to actually resent the people around me because I just lose those this state that I have. So I totally get it. I've been there, done that, and I would say the first thing for me to realize when I had this feeling, such a gap actually between, again, I put now quote unquote my spiritual life and my ordinary life, filling this gap. Uh, then the first thing, because it really felt aching, like you want to go back, you want to actually have a continuity of this feeling of open heart, of ease, of grace, of inspiration, and so also having a harmonious relationship with your environment. You want to have a continuity of that, but it's just not. So the first thing I realized is it's actually just a normal thing in on the spiritual path. It's normal to have this experience, and the trap we tend to fall in, and really fell into that when this happens, is then starting to demonize the outer world, again I put quote unquote, and sanctify our spiritual life, our spiritual world, our spiritual friend, our spiritual community, and the things out there become the obstacles. And this is such a big job because I remember I had this, like, yeah, I don't feel as good here because the environment is so aggressive. It's not a nice environment. It's not a spiritual environment, etc., etc. So then, after a while, I realized that this trap is actually because I'm just separating myself. So it's actually getting me away from my true self, getting me away from this state of openness, because I started to segment things, segment my life. So by doing so, I was segmenting myself actually. And at the end of the day, instead of feeling better or moving on my spiritual path, it was just, I was creating myself more obstacles, because then I felt really like this lady, when you start to resent, your, for example, in her case, her work, and even the people are at her work, um, then that's not contributing to us feeling more open, or feeling more lively, or feeling more connected. It's actually a total disconnection. And even then, when we go back to our spiritual life, quote unquote, uh, then we are kind of separating ourselves again, because it's like, oh, this is my little bubble, and I want to stay only in this little bubble. And that makes us actually feel, at least the experience I had, then I felt more and more miserable, and I felt like getting to a point in on my spiritual path, like, okay, what do I do now? Because I can try, you know again and again, and I feel good, but then when I go back, then it's not there anymore. So I felt kind of stuck there. So what has helped me to actually get out of this, as the first thing was to realize that this gap that I felt between, again, quote unquote, my spiritual life and my ordinary life was not about the other people or the environment out there. The gap was about kind of a measure between me few years ago or many years ago and me now, after uh, practiced and working on my spiritual path. So it's actually this feeling of gap is actually the positive, really kind of measurable thing I could have to see that I have evolved. So it's the differences between me in the past and me now. It's not between me and the other people out there or the environment out there. So that's the first thing that really helped me when I realized that, to be more at ease, and again, just to realize that that's just normal on the path to feel this. It's just part of a process, actually. There is nothing wrong there to feel this. It's really like, yeah, it's part of our path. And as I said, realizing also that demonizing the outer world and sanctifying my spiritual world actually created more separation. So more separation also inside me, and feeling separation, we want to feel more connection. And when we do that, we just do the opposite. So when we feel disconnected, then we really feel miserable when we feel disconnected. I felt really like not finding my place, because I had these two worlds basically, and the spiritual world and the outer world, let's say, and I was kind of pendling between both, but I couldn't find my space really, and that made me feel uh, very actually sad and especially frustrated for a long time. And when I realized that this came from the fact that I, it's not the world but it's myself who actually made this separation between my spiritual life and the outer world. Then when I realized that, then I started to, oh, okay, I need to shift my view here. And then what I found out once I shifted is that the missing link actually for me to uh, fill this gap and not feeling connected is that instead of separating these two words, uh, what I was missing actually was the bridge, and the bridge is the integration into my daily life of this open state, this more spark of life, force of life, coming through the inspiration and feeling connected. Uh, this bringing that into my ordinary life. So the having integrating, and the one thing, because it's, even if you know intellectually that, it's, if you tell yourself integrate, when you are in a situation where there is a crisis, then you can tell yourself integrate, but it's not gonna work. The key for me that helped me to integrate all this opening that I experienced during my retreats, etc., or my daily practice, is actually to work on my energy, because I got that if my energy is not circulating, if my energy is not balanced, and if my core energy is weak, then I feel more this gap. So strengthening my energy, working on my energy is actually what has helped me to integrate and to bring those connection to my true self, the openness of the heart, to bring that into my daily life, and hence to feel less discrepancy. And I myself then don't feel anymore this separation within myself. So that is really like, this separation was, I could feel it in my stomach, in my solar plexus. I could really feel the knot there. And it just started to release through the energy work and through making this connection, getting the bridge, integrating. That started to make this area more relaxed, and the energy started to flow, and I myself felt really like, connected, because I feel like I'm not segmented, or not that segmented anymore. And this also, what I realized is, kind of really has released so much energy, so much energy, because when we have a stagnation, this creates those state of separation, segmented state. This creates so much actually stagnation in our body, even actual physical pain. So when we release those blockages down, it releases a huge amount of energy. So I really felt more vitality and more inspired, and overall, feeling having a more purposeful life, because I don't, or I have less. I'm not saying that I don't have anymore, but I have much less of this. Uh, this is my spiritual life where this is my ordinary life where it's all together. And once I started to do that, the magical thing that I found out actually is that integrating in my daily life in turns turned out, especially I've seen it a lot in my work, turned out to be really the playground for me to grow on my spiritual path. Like, because I did this, I've been doing this, and I constantly connect both. So not only the, let's say again, quote unquote, the spiritual life helps me on my daily life to be more grounded, to be more centered, to be more open. In reverse, all these conditions in the real life actually have helped me to grow on my spiritual path and to really embody this state of openness, that it's to stabilize also. It's not just like something I experience for when I am sitting in meditation, or when I am doing my energy work. It's something that then becomes more stable, that I can actually really kind of imprint in my body. And this, of course, this is where for me the actual wisdom is, when it really sinks, because then from there we can share that state of openness. We can share that state of liveliness. We can share the joy when it's embodied deeply in our system, in our body, in our energetic system. So it's really both ways. That's what I have discovered through this. So going from this state of feeling separate, segmented, and struggling, being frustrated, to, kind of, we long to connection. We long to have feeling more unity, a wholeness and wholesomeness within ourselves. That's what we want. But when we do this split, then we are getting away from that. So that's what I have understood, that connecting the bridge through energy work, working on my energy, that was such a key to build this bridge, actually, that goes both ways. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. If you have any question, feel free to ask, and I will see you in the next video.